You have accessed the Forgotten Fan Simulacrum 3.0, the voice of Lost Age Comics. How would Warner beat Marvel Studios? Here's how. The superhero genre is assembled from multiple genres that came before and will come after it. A combiner, like Devastator. Another example is Batman. He is a superhero built on the martial arts, super spy, and outlaw hero genres. Batman is a ninja, James Bond, and Zorro all rolled into one. DC and Marvel are the kings of the basic superhero genre. Secret identities, power origins, rogues galleries, trope. Hell, both companies even own the trademark on the word superhero. However, the difference between the two publishers is one of same edge but different slant. Take this comparison for example, both are paranormal investigators. Both are anti-heroes who confront satanic forces. But each one is branded with a decidedly different genre look. John Constantine is essentially, a Raymond Chandler-type character. He is a hard-boiled detective who is anything but perfect. The Son of Satan, on the other hand, screams superhero despite having no actual reason to do so. Like the TV turd version of John Sable. Constantine and Son of Satan exhibit the subtle difference between DC and Marvel. Marvel shoehorns a visual superhero branding into designs for characters that really are not superheroes. Just look at this sore for sighted eyes revamp of Doctor Strange. DC, meanwhile, usually does not do such shoehorning. What DC does do, instead, is often emphasize a superhero's subgenre elements. For example, in 2011, writer and walking LSD advertisement Grant Morrison revamped Superman back to his hero of the common people, liberal populist roots. This was branded with a Bruce Springsteen-inspired look. What else better says a man who works with his hands than that archetypal blue-collar outfit? And who else is Superman but a man whose works are miracles performed with his bare hands? The same approach works with Wonder Woman. The first is her basic superhero branding, the middle is her patriotic immigrant subgenre, and the third is her Greek myth subgenre. Branding a character with one of its many subgenre elements enables a character to slip seamlessly into various kinds of stories. This brings out a character's layers, reinterpreting the character logically, and engages an audience that may have a pre-existing prejudice toward that character. Now, to be fair, Marvel can and does the same thing, albeit not as often. DC broke the rule of superhero branding earlier, sometime in the early 1980s. This was built atop prior inclusion of non-superhero characters like Jonah Hex, Sergeant Rock, the Atomic Knights, and Sea Devils in the Silver Age. But, Marvel has broken this rule, too. The Dan Kedge Ghost Rider emphasized the Marlon Brando/Wild One biker, for example. Ultimate Nick Fury emphasizes an international man of mystery. And that brings us to DC and Marvel's counterparts, the DCEU and MCU. Ultimate Marvel was created, in part, to provide coked-up film producers with stories and branding their addled minds could understand. It is no coincidence that the ultimate emphasis on subgenre over supergenre works its way into the greater MCU. Just look at Ultimate Cap and MCU Cap. Each one emphasizes the war comic subgenre. How about Star-Lord with a branding that screams less superhero and more space western, much like Joss Whedon's Firefly? However, as Marvel has come to emphasize its characters' subgenres in comics, the publisher has been met with backlash. Even when keeping a character from being replaced, a Marvel character ends up not feeling like a Marvel character if the story and/or look veers away from superhero. Remember, Stan Lee created these brands with a laser focus on the genre. Meanwhile, DC's creators were inspired by genres that predated the superhero. This allowed for each DC character to inhabit its own unique corner of the DCU. Such inspiration as comparative mythology enabled the creation of the DC multiverse, Elseworlds, and imaginary tales. Yet the DC films are afflicted with a branding problem. While Marvel has had the luxury of introducing its characters on its own terms without any past mishaps becoming common knowledge, DC has had no such luck. When I was a kid, people knew the yellow sun gave Superman his powers. Now, I run into people who think he has every superpower, think he is a god, and that gravity causes his abilities. By the way, gravity was the Golden Age explanation for his original power set. So, how the WTF would persons on the street nowadays know that? This branding problem is a result of several issues. The first being that DC does not have multimedia quality control in film and TV as Marvel does. Secondly, DC constantly reboots, causing confusion for those who wish to adapt their characters. And third, past mishaps with their character brands have remained constantly in public view, such as Super Friends, the source of many Aquaman jokes. Not to mention that documentaries on the history of comics leave one with the impression that DC characters are basic, all white, and not very relatable. When a Marvel film does well, it is because of the Marvel character starring in it. When a DC film does well, the common reaction is it did well because of what the director did with the character. Recent DC films have played right into the misconceptions about these characters. Man of Steel played up the alien aesthetic and mighty powers but not Superman's small-town values or many weaknesses. Suicide Squad, at first, seemed like it would play up the subgenre emphasis but stuck the characters into a superhero story anyway. However, Wonder Woman did what DC already does to great success, emphasize the subgenre elements. Wonder Woman branded the character's look, origin, and psychology in her subgenre elements. She was not only the Amazon but also Libertaz, Marianne, and, of course, Columbia. Now branded as the worlds of DC, the DC films have the opportunity to draft each film in a character series under a different subgenre already hardwired into each character. Time is running out, though, as Marvel Studios are already about to segue into that approach. Thank you for listening. And now it's time for me to get lost.